Good morning. I want to read you some excerpts from more posts from that guy that I mentioned in my last video, which I will link below. I've gone through most of his stuff, and there's some interesting reminders, stuff put in different language, stuff. I want to just get into it and just start reading it so that you hear it before I say anything about it. Thoughts don't literally create reality. That puny thought that you have does not have the physical energy to create anything. It also cannot attract a new reality the way magnets attract metal. Again, insignificant amounts of physical energy in a thought. What thoughts do is to select a new physical reality from an infinite number of parallel physical universes, which contain every permutation of your life possible from this moment forward. Now, this is much easier and doable by thought alone. Let me use an analogy to convey this further. Let's say you are in a hotel room that you do not like. You want the room to be very different. Now, you can remodel the entire thing manually from top to toe. That requires a hell of a lot of energy and also requires you to know exactly what you're going to do every inch of the way. Or you can just walk out into the corridor, look down at the endless series of doors stretching out, and simply open the door into the already pre-constructed room that you will find perfect. Part of the reason why they called it the law of attraction is because, due to the time sequence from thought to reality, and the bridge of incidents which often leads you from your thought to your chosen physical reality, it seemed to be an attraction from point A to point B to point C, etc. The law of belief is a far more accurate term. What is belief? We all know what that is. A belief is a concentrated thought about reality that you hold in your mind as real. That, as we have all learned from Neville, becomes outpictured in physical reality, and soon you can hold it in your hand, like a kitten. This reality may appear suddenly or via a bridge of several incidents. It may require you to get involved with intermediate actions or do absolutely nothing. Regardless of what happens, you remain internally convicted that what you specifically believe is either here now or is inevitable in short order. And that is what consistently creates physical reality. Your belief about that specific reality. You can be in a bad mood about life, you can be low and depressed, whatever. As long as you remain convinced that a certain physical reality must come to pass, it will. So that's the first thing. The second thing is a short little excerpt. I'm sure we've all heard Neville say in soaring tones, the miracle has its own appointed hour. It will ripen, it will flower. If it be late, then wait, for it is sure and it won't be late. Or something like that. So it suggests that you can't determine the time for a particular manifestation, that you have to leave it up to the universe to decide. That sounds logical, but it's actually not the answer. Time is simple physical space moving at a certain speed. If the law of belief affects physical space, and if time is actually a version of physical space, then obviously the law of belief can affect time. This is obvious even without any scientific understanding of anything. One single thought changes an entire physical universe, and the new universe can have something you want happen in the next 5 minutes instead of the next 5 months. To put it another way, nothing has its appointed hour. You appoint the hour. The thing is that in order for you to do any of that, you have to have a pretty rock solid belief that the thing that you are trying to manifest is going to happen. And this has been the common theme among all the things that I have created in my life, has been a rock solid belief that it would happen. Some things easier than others. You know, when I think about money, when I think about being successful with my business, it was a lot easier for me to believe that that could and would happen. My grandfather was a successful entrepreneur. My aunt is a very successful entrepreneur. My brother might even be more successful than she is. People have been telling me I'm brilliant my entire life. You know, I don't know. I wasn't suffering from a lot of evidence to the contrary in 3D that there was any reason to believe that if I put my mind to it, if I found the right thing, if I was smart about it, that I would succeed. I didn't have any personal evidence of that when I started this out. In fact, I was bankrupt. I had no discipline. Most of the things that I tried to do were pretty much of a failure for that reason, that I was disciplined or inexperienced. But I believed that it made sense for it to happen at my core, and I believed it would. Because in my mind, A plus B equals C. For other things where I haven't been built up my entire life, for example, in the physical area, growing up, I didn't get all kinds of feedback that I was some knockout. Neither of my parents believed in, I think, saying stuff like that to their kid. My mom especially, I think, wanted me to be humble. I don't really know what her, she's made some remarks to me in the last few years about how much she regrets literally, I don't think I ever heard anything positive about my looks ever. Like in the 18 years that I lived, and grew up with my mom, I don't remember ever hearing positive stuff. Like maybe one thing here and there where she would tell me somebody else had said something about me to her. But I did hear a lot of stuff about what was wrong with me physically. I heard a lot of stuff about how bad my life would be if I gained any weight. I specifically remember a conversation where my mom told me that if I weighed 130, I would be fat. And this is when I think I already weighed close to that. She didn't know that. But so, in this other area where I wasn't built up, it took me until I was 38 and had already done something amazing with a business and had gotten super disciplined for me to believe that I could do it. For me to believe that it would happen if I took the steps to do it. And so when it comes to other things where it's not like, take traditional step A, add in B, and you will get result C. This is where I'm having to really exercise the discipline muscle to build the belief, because I don't know how Neville exactly says to do this. I can only tell you what I do. And I understand the connection between your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. I understand the function there. I understand how your subconscious mind gets programmed by your conscious mind. What you take in and believe for a long enough period of time will become a subconscious belief. And so for me, the logical step to take there to change a belief is to consciously believe something. And it's hard to do that if you don't have physical evidence, but you can still do it. At least I can. Writing and thinking affirmations is supposedly a way to do that I've never before this year attempted. However, I have been doing that with a very specific thing for about a week. And my plan is to continue to do it until July 15th. So it's not about something that I will be heartbroken if doing this technique to reprogram doesn't bear any fruit. It's okay. It's just a time sink. So that's where I'm at with this thing. But if it does, and I suspect it will, then what I can tell you anyway, is that developing discipline and being persistent will get you everywhere. If you forget all about Neville Goddard, all about conscious creation, if you just completely forget this, but you develop discipline, you'll get 75% of the way there anyway. So whether or not the affirmations, the written stuff, and the mental stuff that you do before sleep, whether or not that produces a result, I am testing that in a very specific area in which I have some challenges believing. So I'm going to see if I can reprogram my belief in this area in 30 days. If anyone can do it, it's me. And I'm very disciplined about it, and I have the time to do it. So anyway, yeah. If it's a matter for me of believing, part of what I think helps me to believe is this parallel realities explanation that I read you in this post. For me, I've been able to just believe it in certain areas without quite understanding why, but with the tougher things to believe, you know, I need more proof. And for me, a theory that explains it, at least, is enough to help me say, well, that makes sense. That's feasible. I can buy that. I can believe that that's why. And the parallel realities thing is what got me there. And I keep forgetting about it. Anyway, that's the direction I'm going in. Disciplined, conscious reprogramming. And I will be delving more into the parallel realities explanation for all of this. That's the direction I'm heading in. And it is 5:05 a.m. and it's time for me to get to the gym before everybody exhales all their coronavirus breath everywhere. So have a great day.